Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, when I start this lesson off, we giving all the praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Honors to our brothers who are fervently preaching the word in sincerity and in faith. Shalom to the sincere Akwath, which are the sincere sisters, and Shalom to the scattered Israelites who are amongst these heathen nations and look like these heathens. Now, this lesson is going to be based on an explosion and fire at a Dallas apartment that killed 3 people, including a child. So through the Spirit, I'm going to read this article, get some precepts, and Lord's will, you're edified. It says an explosion and massive fire at a Dallas apartment building Thursday killed a child and at least 2 other people following a blast that shook nearby homes and happened while firefighters were rushing to a reported gas leak, officials said. At least 5 people also went to hospitals with injuries, Dallas Fire Rescue spokesperson Jason Evans said. It was unclear how many residents lived in the 2-story complex in the Oak Cliff neighborhood south of downtown Dallas, where a towering plume of black smoke was visible for miles. Evans did not rule out that more victims could be found as crews continued to sift through the charred remains of the building. By late Thursday, Evans said firefighters had searched less than half of the scene by hand and that some areas would require excavation. Said this was enormous, Evans said of the fire. As dozens of firefighters swarmed to the neighborhood, some residents, friends, and relatives were worried as they tried unsuccessfully to reach each loved one. Dozens of firefighters searched through the smoldering rubble of the building, even as colleagues continued to drench the blackened debris. Berry said firefighters were responding to a call of a gas leak when an explosion happened. Said we had the cavalry coming, Dallas Fire Rescue Deputy Chief Mark Berry said, but the explosion had already taken place. Atmos Energy, a natural gas provider, said in a statement they were told by fire officials that a construction crew unrelated to the company had damaged a pipeline near the site of the fire. Casey Proctor, a resident of the apartment building, said her mother had smelled gas inside a day earlier, but Proctor didn't think much of it at the time. And this just goes to show how dense people are, because you smell gas but then you don't think anything of it. Like, sheesh, man. Says she wasn't home during the blast and was devastated that her cat Shirley was stuck inside. Said I've been sitting over there crying for several hours. I don't know what to do. This is all I have right here, Proctor said, gesturing to the clothes she was wearing. She spent the afternoon chatting with neighbors who had evacuated, including a girl who was home babysitting her little sister and carried both the child and their dog to safety. Natural gas service to the area remained shut off, and company officials were working with investigators on site, the company said. Authorities set up a family reunification center at a nearby high school. Several hours after the blaze, Frances Rizzo was still trying to find her friend who lived in the building. She's not answering her phone, Rizzo said. Firefighters rushed to the scene as flames and black smoke billowed into the sky. Some trained their hoses on piles of smoking debris, while others removed lumber and other burned wreckage to look for anyone trapped beneath. Little more than a blackened shell of the original building remained. The fire is contained, but our members are still working on the scene to do primary searches, said Dallas Fire Rescue Assistant Chief James Russ. Julie Jensen said she was at home less than a block from the burning building when she heard a noise like an explosion that left her ears ringing. She said, I was sitting on my couch watching TV. Stuff flew off our walls, Jensen said. Jensen said she saw rising smoke and neighbors running when she looked out the window. She grabbed her family's cat and left, finding a nearby parking lot to wait until she knew it was safe to return. Saul de la Rosa was at work at a nearby auto repair shop when all of a sudden we heard and felt this huge boom. We felt where the building kind of shook a little bit, De La Rosa said. He said a coworker went outside and saw thick black smoke rising into the air. Yeah, so basically this whole thing was just some heavy judgment from the Lord. Gas leak, explosion, fire, people dying, people being injured. This is exactly the sort of judgments that myself and other brothers have been saying we should expect to see a lot more of in these last days. Psalms 9 and 16. The Lord Yahweh is known by the judgment which he executeth. The wicked is snared in the work of his own hands. Hegayon Selah. Yeah, so this whole thing was judgment from the Lord. The gas leak, the explosion, all of it. And the fact that that woman in the article, her mother, I believe, said that she smelled gas but didn't think anything of it. That just goes to show that the Lord really be putting a dumb spirit on people. Because how do you smell gas and not think that that could be a problem? I'm telling you, the Lord really be putting that spirit of like just ignorance on a lot of people. Deuteronomy 32:39. See now that I, even I am he, and there is no power with me. I kill and I make alive, I wound and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. And in this judgment, the Lord killed some people and he wounded some people. And for the people who died, there was nothing that could have been done to save them. Because it was the will of the Lord for them to die. 1 Samuel 2 and 6. The Lord Yahweh killeth and maketh alive. He bringeth down to the grave and bringeth up. And that's right, the Heavenly Father gets credit for the deaths that take place in this world, regardless of how those deaths manifest. Job 4 and 7. Remember, I pray thee, whoever perished being innocent, or where were the righteous cut off? And the answer is that nobody has perished being innocent. So the people who died in this explosion, this gas leak, explosion, fire, those people were not innocent. Even if one of them was a child, that child was also not innocent. Because if that child was innocent and righteous in the eyes of the Lord would not have allowed them to perish. The Lord would have protected them. Verse 8, even as I have seen, they that plow iniquity and sow wickedness reap the same. And that's what's happening in these last days, is wicked people whom the Lord is angry with are being punished by fires, explosions, car crashes, shootings, stabbings, and whatever other way the Lord decides to bring judgment. Ecclesiastes 3 and 1. To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heaven. Verse 2, a time to be born, and a time to die, a time to plant, and a time to pluck up that which is planted. And for the people who died in this explosion, it was their time, according to the will of the Lord. And you'll have a lot of people who will say that because the Lord is out here killing people, that's why they don't want to, follow the Lord or serve the Lord. Because they've been lied to and taught that the Lord, he loves everybody and he's all about life and this, that, and the third. Because the people who told them don't know anything about the Lord. The Lord is not dealing with majority of people, especially the people who go up in these harlot houses, aka these churches. Because as the scriptures say, the Lord does not dwell in temples made with hands. So anybody who's up in these churches, the Lord is not dealing with those people. And they have a very Edomite view of how the Lord operates. The Lord does everything. The Lord feels everything. He can feel happiness. He can feel anger. He can feel sadness. The Lord is the one who created people. And we have a range of emotions. So why would the Heavenly Father not have a range of emotions? Why do people try to put the Lord in a box and act like he's only geared towards, one emotion? In Psalms 7 and 11, it says, Yahweh judgeth the righteous, and Yahweh is angry with the wicked every day. So the scriptures let you know that the Lord does feel anger. And he's angry towards these wicked people, and that's why these type of judgments take place. That's his anger towards these people being put on display. But a lot of these people, they're too simple-minded to understand that. The Lord has not blessed them with the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of these scriptures. So no matter how much you try to break things down and explain it to them, they're not going to get it. Because the Lord is not dealing with them and he doesn't want them to get it. And more than likely, that's because they're wicked and he's going to destroy them. So there's no point in them understanding it. Let them live in their ignorance and in their wickedness until the Lord decides that their time is up. And then he removes them off this earth in whatever manner he sees fit. But that's basically why these things are happening. Like it says in Luke 21 and 22, for these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled. And the Lord is daily sending forth his spirits that are created for vengeance to execute his judgments, to punish these wicked people with whom he is angry with. So we can expect to see a lot more, gas leak explosions, brush fires, wildfires, shootings, stabbings, car crashes, tornadoes, hurricanes, hailstorms, torrential rains that lead to flash flooding, earthquakes, all sorts of heavy judgments that result in wicked people getting wounded and or killed. That is the time and season that we are in. So with that, I'm going to wrap it up here. In closing, I want to give all the praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash, the water Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, for putting the spirit on me to do this lesson. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Honors to all the brothers who are fervently preaching the word in sincerity and in faith. Shalom to the sincere Akwath, which are the sincere sisters, and shalom to the scattered Israelites who are amongst these heathen nations and look like these heathens. I hope you all stay strong, stay safe, stay fervent, stay circumspect, stay prayed up, and Adawan Ratazah. Till next time, shalom.